It was one of the most controversial issues in Albuquerque in a while. Should the city ban late-term abortions? Albuquerque voters said no, but now a state lawmaker is pushing the idea. As News 13's Tina Jensen reports, it's already getting support from both parties.
It doesn't seem like that long ago that Albuquerque became the center of the national abortion debate. Now New Mexico itself will be front and center, with lawmakers announcing a new bill to ban late-term abortions in a state with one of the only known late-term abortion clinics in the nation.
It's not over-pushing and it's not overreaching. There are exceptions in the bill.
The bill would ban abortions after 5 months, once the fetus is capable of living outside the womb. But unlike the Albuquerque measure, it provides exceptions for rape, abuse, and incest, and when the mother's life is in danger. Republicans announced the measure already had the support of 6 Democrats.
42 other states have laws on the books like this already, and I think that that's really what garnered the bipartisan support.
Not all lawmakers agree.
These are very difficult, complicated decisions in regards to abortion that government and politics have no role.
Not all faith-based groups agree either.
We believe that these are deeply complex and personal decisions that should be made by a woman.
With the bill set to be introduced on Monday, supporters say it has a much better chance than the Albuquerque measure, and they say it's long overdue.
We know that the majority of New Mexicans do not want to have elective late-term abortions taking place up to the day of birth in our state.
Tina Jensen, KRQE News 13.
The bill has bipartisan support in the House, but it's unclear if Democrats in the Senate support it. Governor Susana Martinez says she's pro-life and does not support late-term abortions. Another bill announced yesterday would require teens give their parents 2 days notice before they get an abortion. If a doctor performed an abortion on a minor and a parent did not know, the physician could be fined and have their license suspended a year. Albuquerque police are investigating a deadly crash on Wyoming and Aspen. It happened just before 1 this morning. Police say multiple people were hurt, including 2 children. One driver was pinned in a car, then taken to the hospital where they died. Police say alcohol and speed are factors in the crash. They're waiting to release names until families have been notified. Wyoming opened back up this morning at about 6 a.m. We'll keep you updated on KRQE.com. Also this morning, Albuquerque police are searching for the driver of this red Ford Edge. They want to question them about a hit-and-run crash at Paseo del Norte and Louisiana that left a woman critically injured. Police say they're still investigating the circumstances. The Albuquerque teen, who police believe is the ringleader in a huge car theft warm-up ring, has pleaded not guilty. Police arrested James Gonzalez in late January after he was spotted driving a stolen car at a trailer park near 98th and Tower. He also had a stolen San Juan County badge on him. No word on how he got that badge. And a man is accused of ramming an SUV for nearly a mile before attacking the driver. The Taos County Sheriff's Office says Diego Fernandez smashed his Jaguar into an SUV while driving on Blueberry Hill Road. He supposedly pushed the vehicle for 3/4 of a mile, got out of his car, and then punched the driver. Fernandez was arrested and charged with his 3rd DWI and battery. After a lot of back and forth, the city says Monday is the deadline for homeless campers at Tent City. City workers were out yesterday cleaning up and throwing out tents as protesters looked on and took cell phone video.
That's somebody's home! That's someone's home!
It's my understanding that today they're down to 4 tents. So it's a very small group now, and we hope that they decide to move on before we start down this path.
The city says the tents were abandoned by those who accepted help and resources. On Monday, those remaining will be given a 3-day notice to vacate. If not, they may have to head to court and face a judge. The Albuquerque police officer, shot 4 times by a suspected drunk driver, thanked the paramedics who helped him that night.
These guys, from the time they hit the scene to the time I got to the hospital, their number one concern was my safety, my health, and they did a phenomenal job.
Lapel video captured the shooter, who police say is Christopher Cook, firing at Officer Luke Golson on San Mateo last month. Officer Golson was hit in the leg and his vest stopped another bullet. He returned fire and called for backup. He told us he doesn't think about Cook.
Anger takes up way too much energy. You know, I prefer staying positive. That's what's got me where I'm at today. Is he a sociopath? Yeah. Am I angry with him? No. Like I said, it takes up way too much energy.
Yesterday, the city honored the firefighters and crew from Albuquerque Ambulance who responded to the scene. Bolson still has a long road to recovery ahead of him, but he says he does plan on returning to the police force. A new program launched by the Albuquerque Fire Department yesterday aims to get paramedics to people suffering an emergency faster. Paramedics were added to 2 engines, allowing them to respond to the most serious emergencies. Right now, rescues do that, but there aren't rescues at every station. The goal is to get on scene and assess the patient in 4 minutes or less. Station 4 and Station 10 are affected. 4 serves the I-40 and 3rd Street corridor, while Station 10 covers the Rio Grande and Candelaria area. A local location scout is up for a major award for her work on a Coca-Cola commercial that aired during the Super Bowl last year.
Oh, beautiful for spacious skies.
From Ghost Ranch to the Chemo Theater, Cindy McCrossan knew just where the commercial should be filmed, and now she's nominated for Outstanding Locations in a Single Commercial by the Location Managers Guild of America, and she's facing some stiff competition from commercials like Budweiser, Nissan, and Honda.
The recognition of the beautiful state, you know, the land of enchantment that I work in, you know, and have the good fortune to work in, and the amazing crews, film crews that are in New Mexico. So it's, you know, it means a lot to be recognized for that kind of work.
McCrossan has also worked on Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. The awards ceremony is in California next month. 2 local chocolate sculptors discovered at last year's Southwest Chocolate and Coffee Fest will be featured on the Food Network tonight. Rebecca Bonsall and Sandy Reeve of Chocolates and Cream near Unser and McMahon will be on the show called Outrageous Chocolate. This is all we can show you of their 5-foot creation. If you want to see the whole thing, you'll have to watch the show tonight. The 2 chocolatiers say they're excited about the national attention. It's one of the most popular parts of Albuquerque in the light of day, but that didn't stop a brazen robber from stealing not only from a local restaurant, but from all of the customers inside at gunpoint. Albuquerque police are still looking for the man that came into this Nob Hill restaurant, Limonada, last month at about 8 in the morning with a gun. He stole money from the cashier and a laptop and cash from customers sitting inside.
I have been to that cafe and I love it. I find it surprising, if not shocking.
It could happen anywhere. It really could.
Police say they don't know of any other armed robberies in the area since then. Witnesses describe the suspect as a man about 5'6" or 5'7". He wore a dark baseball cap, a black jacket, and jeans. Anthem is now warning its 80 million customers about an email scam making the rounds. Thursday, it announced a huge hack of its system where names, social security numbers, and email addresses may have been compromised. Now emails are being sent out that look like they're from Blue Cross Blue Shield, asking you to click on a link for credit monitoring. Because of the scam, they will only contact clients by phone or mail. It's still not clear how many New Mexicans were affected by the breach. TurboTax announcing it's temporarily stopping e-filing over fraud concerns. The company said yesterday criminals are trying to use stolen identity information to file fraudulent state tax returns and claim the refunds. If you filed a New Mexico state tax return on TurboTax, your return will be filed as soon as their systems are back up. A 26-year-old Arizona humanitarian has been held captive by the terror group ISIS since 2013. Now the group is saying Kayla Mueller died in an airstrike. Jason Volentine has a reaction of the news from her hometown and why some do not believe the terrorists.
In the streets of Prescott, Kayla Mueller's name drifts through the murmur of concerned conversations.
We always think if it's not touching us, it's like it's over there. It's somewhere else. It's not about us. But now it's about us.
Kayla Mueller is a local hero, a philanthropist. She's worked humanitarian missions in Israel, India, and Palestine, helped refugees in Africa. But in August of 2013, she disappeared while working for Doctors Without Borders in the war-torn country of Syria, captured by the terror group ISIS. And now ISIS is claiming Kayla was killed in a Jordanian air raid.
One of those folks that looks for the good in everything, and in that vein, she goes on ahead and tries to look for her God center with the way she looks and acts day-to-day life. So that's what put her in this position.
Todd Geiler is a family friend to Kayla and her parents, Marcia and Carl Mueller. Understandably, they haven't wanted to speak to media since the latest ISIS claim. The road to their home blocked off by Yavapai County deputies most of the day.
They're a good group of folks that don't ask much of other people, but at this point in time are kind of asking for a little privacy as they go on ahead through this difficult period.
Not everyone believes the ISIS claims of Kayla's death. Some believe it's more propaganda from a group based on fear and intimidation. In fact, the airstrike they're claiming killed Kayla was in retaliation for the gruesome propaganda video showing the execution of a captive Jordanian pilot. And so many are holding on to hope.
I think right now what they need more than anything are some prayers.
Not Prescott, not really Prescott, but yes, it is Prescott now. So just good thoughts for the family and the world.
That was Jason Valentine reporting. Well, neighbors say a fire at a northeast Albuquerque apartment caught quickly, sending flames shooting from windows, and they say the man who lives there was still inside when it happened.
So I ran over there and had my flashlight, and I just kind of looked in the doorway, and he was just standing in there.
The fire started last night around 9 p.m. at the Broadstone High Desert Apartments. Albuquerque Fire says they did transport one person to the hospital, and that person is expected to be fine. They're still investigating what happened, but residents say they had to move fast once the fire broke out.
No one was prepared to come outside tonight, and we were all just in our apartments and having a relaxing night. And, you only grab the couple of things that you think, okay, well, what do I need to get right now?
AFD says there were about 8 apartments in the building where the fire started. They say the apartment where the fire broke out was damaged, but told us neighbors would be able to return to their homes. A fight with a deli shop owner ends with a customer covered in coffee. Kyton Blair, a UNM student, says the owner of the Times Square Deli at Central and Yale attacked him when he told him he didn't like the sandwich he was eating. The owner says he made him a new sandwich, then made him leave, and that's when things got heated.
As I'm walking out, I drop the food on the floor and I say, hey, I don't want your nasty food anyway. And he comes around and throws hot coffee on me.
I have a coffee, but cold coffee from the morning. I just throw it on him because he messed up my floor and in front of the people, and he was cursing on me.
Police responded to the scene, and both men want the other charged. That has not happened yet. A lawmaker wants to spend more than $1 million to bring a major golf tournament to New Mexico. Democratic Representative Ken Martinez introduced this bill calling for the state to set aside $1.5 million for a PGA tournament. He's calling for other donors to match that, so the state has at least $3 million to work with.
And I think it'd be great for tourism, and I think we'd support it. We used to have a senior event here that was a great event. No longer comes to New Mexico, but I think it'd be great if we had a PGA event here.
There's a lot of skepticism about if this would work. It's unclear what kind of PGA tournament he's trying to bring here. Purses alone for stops on a PGA tour can run anywhere from $500,000 to $10 million. A bill to legalize pot was brought back to life only to be killed once again. The panel voted 7-1 to table the bill sponsored by Representative Bill McCamley. McCamley wants to allow the state to license marijuana producers to grow and sell the drug. A proposal to let voters decide whether to legalize recreational marijuana stalled in a Senate committee last year. Governor Susana Martinez has also said she opposes marijuana legalization, so even if lawmakers passed it, it likely wouldn't be signed.